And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Daytona as we prepare for the final practice of the day. Twilight just about now here at Daytona, and the first car off is going to be Jack Nathan. We are doing the Daytona 500 practice session to finish off today. We've already done the Oreo Truck Series, Mobile Cup Series practices for the drivers that'll race in the National Guard 200 and the Samsung 300. And now we are about to finish it off, and then, oh yes, tomorrow, the first race of Season 3 in the Oreo Truck Series, the National Guard 200. Really looking forward to that, and then the following day, we have the Samsung 300, where the Mobile Cup Series cars will come, and then, to cap it all off, if all goes well, we will have the Daytona 500 running on Saturday. Alright, so Jack Nathan is the first car off. Jack Nathan was a championship contender last season. He, along with teammate Christian James, remaining in their Roush Fenway rides number 16 and 17. And Jack Nathan is going to be joined by a lot of drivers. Felix Harris there, Joshua Courier, and Ray Wilson. But Jack Nathan, he and Christian James going to be back on the same page with Roush Fenway Racing. They have two teammates, and just a minute here, just going to look. Yeah, only those two will be in there, because Emilio Navarre and Jake Johnson failed to qualify. Well, there's John Dillon and Christian James working together. John Dillon moving over from the 32 over to the 2 for Penske Racing. And he's got Christian James directly behind him. We talked about Christian James in the 17. He's got Fluid Master for his sponsorship this year. Now, what was the first lap for Jack Nathan? A 186.753. So, pretty fast. Just ahead of him, we got Dougie Shears, our not defending champion, but our Season 1 champion. He's bypassing his teammate and our Bud Shootout winner, Logan Wilson. There's Matthew Rodriguez there. Here comes a good draft. Brandon Gonzalez leading that in the 71. Nice to see him back. Brandon Gonzalez raced in the Mobile Cup Series and the Oreo Truck Series last season, but not in the Snickers Cup Series. Nice to see him back in the Snickers Cup Series. He will drive the 71 in the Daytona 500. He pulls up right behind the 35. That is Nick Eggleston this season. And Eggleston, really, if you think about it, Nick Eggleston has been in a lot of the smaller race teams, the single-car race teams. He drove for Front Row Motorsports last season in the unsponsored 37 for most of the season, and now he's driving the number 35, so... But he seems to make it work. There's a new ride, and that's Stephen Dillon in the 12. So he's going to be a teammate in Penske Racing to his older brother, John. So that'll be interesting to see how that little bit of alliance is going to work out. There's Matthew Rodriguez in the 93, or 98 rather. You remember seeing him in the Bud Shootout. And then, of course, how could you forget Logan Wilson, the guy who took the checkers at this season's Bud Shootout. He's being looked at as the favorite coming into the Daytona 500. It's a good group of cars. Felix Harris moving from the 35 to the 93 this season. Joshua Courier, who we saw in the Bud Shootout. And also the same with Ray Wilson in the 23. He's got a NOS Energy Drink for the Daytona 500. He was driving the Caterpillar Toyota for the Bud Shootout. And then we've got Jacob Cook, who we also saw. I believe he was actually the pole sitter for the Bud Shootout there with this group as well in the number 30 Monster Energy Chevrolet. There's Kenny McCurry in the 09. He's got sponsorship this year. Thank a Teacher Today for his 09. He was in the 09 last season. And James McLeod, who just barely missed being Rookie of the Year for Season 1, moving over to Hendrick Motorsports in the number 48. Here's Trent Whitney, back for his third season in the 46 car. Looking for a breakout year is Trent Whitney, the son of Sprint Cup Series team number 46 owner Dusty Whitney. So he's Obviously, going to be looking for a really good season here, and he just got bypassed by Arnold Columbia, still racing the Pepsi colors, which he will race for the 500. I believe when he gets to Phoenix, he'll be moving to the Gatorade paint scheme. Good pack back here. This is a nice pack of cars. The 84 of Timmy Pacioli and the 69 of Brandon Bain, who also is known as Ziggy Bain. They're both in brand new rides this season, so be interesting to watch them. And then we got a few drivers back here. Tim Walsh in the 15 back there at the tail end of this, the 14 of Tony Speed, and the 64 of Aaron Williams, all of whom raced their way into the 500 in the 2 qualifying races. There's Robert Bann moving from the 13 Dodge to the 13 Ford with Geico on the hood. He's 8th fastest right now. Putting together a pretty good practice session is Robert Bann. Sam Young did the same thing, and so did Robert Cruz in the 50 there. Those two raced their way into the Daytona 500 in the qualifying races. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they both ended up finishing 4th in their respective qualifying races, which got them in. There's Trent Dunham, Earnhardt Ganassi racing car. He'll be a teammate to Devin Wilson this season. He's a rookie. Connor Breton running all by himself. He's got UPS on the hood of that Ford. And remember, he finished off the Season 2 Snickers Cup Series season with a victory, his first Snickers Cup Series win. Another group of cars back here, 2 Hendrick cars, to actually make it 3 Hendrick cars. Jack Richards in the 5, Anthony McCurry in the 88, making their returns in those rides. And new rookie Sean Henley in the 25. And then you've got the winner of, I believe it was the second qualifying race, Brock Marshall in the 78, and he's got Vincent Marsh behind him there, making his return to the number 18 Toyota, which he drove in Season 1. Jack Nathan on pit road, same with Logan Wilson. Here's some more cars. Some more Earnhardt Ganassi cars working together here. Chad Skinner and Devin Wilson, teammates to Trent Dunham this season. Chad Skinner, really, a lot of people don't think of Chad Skinner when they think of NNSCRA, but I'll tell you what, he's got 2 wins in the Snickers Cup Series, 1 in Season 1 and 1 in Season 2. He may be looking maybe for getting his 3rd here, as Devin Wilson is there in the 42, his teammate. There's Jake Berg. Jake Berg is running in this series for the Daytona 500. He's not racing in the National Guard 200, National Guard 200 or the Samsung 300 due to a family tragedy, but he will be racing in all 3 series when we get to Phoenix. But he is not going to miss the Daytona 500. And there's Matthew McMurray, who raced his way in. And that ride actually gets some of its help from Joe Gibbs Racing, so not surprising to see him working with Jake Berg here during this practice session. Wow, this is a big pack, and look at who's involved there. 2 Richard Childress cars there. There's John Worry and our defending champion Adam Chambers, and then there's also Sean Galligan and T.O. Bain, both in new rides. Galligan in the 44 and T.O. Bain in the 08. You remember T.O. Bain from the Bud Shootout, and also back there, that Slim Jim Ford right there, number 80, Ryan Acosta. He ended up last season racing the number 6 for Roush Fenway Racing, and pretty much split time in that ride with Noah Cars. So Sean Galligan driving the Toyota this season, number 44 with sponsorship. Last season he drove his own ride, number 10 Yoshi Dodge, and so a lot of people are wondering if how this ride that is funded and everything, if it's going to help him out, and not surprising to see him get some drafting help from MFN PRA colleague John Dillon. And all eyes, of course, are going to be on this guy, our defending champion, Adam Chambers, who's going to try and come in and start off Season 2 the way he ended Season 1 as the Snickers Cup Series champion. So Chambers has a lot of people wondering just how he's going to react to this season. He's 23rd fastest on the racetrack right now. Good 4-car battle here. It's going to be kind of hard to tell Sean Galligan aside from Jacob Cook there, because they both got Monster Energy sponsoring them. But Matthew Rodriguez, he's 14th fastest on the racetrack. 15th is Joshua Courier. Felix Harris is actually 10th fastest on the racetrack. And Jacob Cook is 4th fastest here tonight. While we have about 5 minutes to go, let's take a quick look here. There's Ray Wilson running by himself. At the drivers in the top 10, we've hit the 199 mark, not yet reached 200. Fastest car on the racetrack, amazingly enough, is the 80 of Ryan Acosta. Then it's Christian James, Anthony McCurry, Jacob Cook, John Dillon, John Worry. Then Brandon Bain, rookie Tim Walsh, Timmy Pacioli, and Felix Harris, the top 10. Brandon Gonzalez, rather surprising to see him up there in the top 10 in speed, but most of the cars that I'm seeing here in this big pack are up there in the top 10. Christian James is, so is Brandon Gonzalez, so is John Dillon, so is John Worry, and Adam Chambers has now just gotten in as he's moved up into the 8th position. Well, the reason I just stopped there was we just got a notification that there is rain in the air, and it looks like they're going to have to cut this practice session short. So a real tough break there for these drivers, as there is rain in the forecast, and we are getting word that it is just moments away from hitting us here at Daytona. So therefore, we are going to have to just go with what we've got here. This is the way that they had for their practice session. Look at Jack Richards just put together a good run right there, along with Nick Eggleston. They just moved into the top 10. So it's Acosta, James, Richards, Logan Wilson, Nick Eggleston. Look at that right there. Logan Wilson, he was the Bud Shootout winner. Now he's 4th fastest. I'd be watching very carefully in the 500 for that 4 car. McCrory, Jacob Cook, John Dillon, John Worry, and Brandon Gonzalez, the top 10. Take a look at the ways down here. Trent Dunham, Sam Young, Robert Cruz down in the 197. So that's a Toyota, that's a Ford, and that's a Chevy. That doesn't really mean much, though, because they all do have teammates, I believe. So that doesn't mean a whole lot. The Joseph Bryant, we didn't talk about him at all today, and he came out 35th quickest. Alright, so that's the way that it was for the practice session here tonight. Hope you'll tune in tomorrow as we will be bringing you the National Guard 200 live on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, the first race of the Oreo Truck Series Season 3. Thanks for watching the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.